All right, so you guys should be able to hear me now. Okay, so what we're going to be working on today is actually upgrading and replacing basically all of the components from an Artesian Build PC. So we're going to be replacing what is in there with some better components. We're getting a better power supply, better cooler. We're going to upgrade the RAM. We're going to go with a better video card. And we're going to be modifying this case with a vertical GPU mount. Just trying to adjust my mic here. There we go. So this is what we're starting with. All right. So this thing is not clean. So we're going to go through, we're going to clean it up. It's been sitting for a little bit, so we're going to get all the dust off of it. And this is that pink white that they liked to use. So we're going to go through, we're going to clean each part of this. We're going to take this all the way down to just bare metal, and we're going to clean it and build it back up. Get these panels front and back off. Hey, what's going on, BP?
Hey, thanks for checking out this video. If you like these videos, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. It really, really helps the channel.
All right. So let's start getting stuff out of here. Start by undoing all of our zip ties that are in the back here. Getting these internal panels off. Getting all these panels off of here. All right, so we got this out. Let's see what kind of processor this thing has in it. And now this is ready to be cleaned. We will do that. Gonna need a lot of alcohol today. Not for me to consume, for me to clean. A lot of paper towel. Gonna need some towels. So this is an i9 10850K. So this is similar to what I'm running in this computer. My streaming computer is an i9 10900K though. All right. So whatever Bryce wants to do with this, I'll give this a little clean. Give it a little vacuum. We'll clean up. Okay. So now that that's done, one of the things we're going to do, we're going to use just a simple vacuum and a brush. We're going to clean this up. And everyone always asks me, hey, what kind of brush is that? This is a lug nut brush from a company called Viking. You can get them at O'Reilly's. How gentle do you need to be with brushing? Imagine that you're brushing very thin sheets of glass. So you don't want to when I'm brushing, it's like that. I don't want to get like this. So it's very, very, very gentle. Just all I'm doing is agitating so that it becomes it wants to come off of the board, and then once it comes off of the board, then I'm using the suction of the vacuum to pull it in. The other thing you don't want to do is you don't want to just shove a vacuum on this. The other thing you have to be careful of is I just saw something that's bothering me. With this, these two things together can actually create static. And that can send a discharge through the board, so you have to be careful about that. Another option is you can use, let me see if I still have mine. Yeah. You can use something like this, just a simple electric toothbrush if you're trying to deep clean. Yeah, there's a lot of options. But for this, all we're doing is we just wanted to get most of the surface dust off of here. We're going to check these. There's an M2 in this guy. Let's pull this out. Yeah, you know that's not a good idea. Yeah, you want to try and avoid creating static whenever possible. Oh, no. Artesian. I understand why you went out of business now. And it wasn't because of your poor customer service. It was probably because of all the RMAs you had with failing SSDs. Oh. So the other thing that I saw, I was looking at this, is this. Come on, guys. And there's no world in which that you could convince me that, yeah, this one is so adhered on there, I'm not going to be able to get it off because there is one on here. That, oh yeah, just let the customer do it. That's definitely something a customer will understand and realize is actually on there. Okay, good job, guys. There you go. Look at that. And there's one on this too, but I'm not going to pull it. It is a Western Digital blue. So that is over there now. We'll put the memory with it. And from here on out, we're all about cleaning and new parts. Get this situated in. It's strange. It's like, so I understand the idea of having to, if you're trying to make money building computers, it is extremely hard. There's little to no margin. Like for Bryce's build here, I spent like it was like $32.98 when everything was said and done, and I'm charging him $3,300 because if I charged him more, then he could just go and get the parts himself for cheaper, and I'm losing out on possibly the business. But like the only thing you really make money on is the actual labor of building. So when you have something like this, where you have this Western Digital blue drive, you have a situation where you could say, hey, I have this Western Digital blue drive and I have a Samsung drive. I charge the Samsung prices for this. So, or you could say, hey, I'm charging the Samsung prices for this. And the customer isn't going to necessarily know, especially if they're not super tech savvy. All right, let's keep going here. We got to make sure we're not going to suck up any screws. These guys, not super bad. A little bit bad. More vacuuming. All we're really trying to do here is just remove the surface gunk, is what we'll call this. So there you go. Doesn't look much different, but it is clearly much better. All right, let's look at these fans. Some of these fans look like they're in pretty good shape. Some of them don't. One of the things we're going to be doing at the request of the customer is that. Because the company doesn't exist anymore, and they screwed him out of a bunch of money. All right, so all of these fans, we're going to go through them all. We're going to do the brush treatment on all of them, and then after that, we're going to do the alcohol treatment on all of them. So, one of the problems we're going to run into, and I don't know how well you guys can hear me right now, but one of the problems we're going to run into is you can see the color difference between this and this. This is never going to be white again from vape. It is just straight up stained this thing forever, permanently. All right, next up, go back to here. And someone's paying me to rebuild their computer. They're spending a bunch of money on it. I don't want to deprive them of actually having a nice looking computer. Just because I was being lazy about something. That part isn't so bad. So Artesian Computers is a defunct company that ripped customers off by overcharging them for subpar components and just using regular off-the-shelf stuff. All right. All right, so this is going to be the first big thing where we're going to be able to see we're going to see some hopeful drastic improvements, especially down here. How well can you guys can't see that at all. If I lean it like that, you can. We'll make it work. All right, we're going to pull out the vacuum once again. And when I'm doing this, I'm always trying to brush towards the vacuum head. All right, next, we're going to take another towel, lift this up, we're going to put this underneath, and then we are going to, hey, thanks for the follow, Poorly. So, I don't know how I'm going to show this to you guys easily, what I'm about to do, but now there's going to be situations where the best thing you can actually use for cleaning is going to be water. Because water has a lot more dissolving power than alcohol does. Alcohol is just good if you need to use it on electronic. All right, so another kind of cleaning note here. If you're cleaning rubber with alcohol, be careful, because rubber and alcohol, not the greatest combination. As you can see, I'm getting black on here, and that is just some of the oils being expressed from the rubber by the alcohol. So you just got to be careful. You don't want to soak rubber in alcohol; it'll end badly during the build. All right, I think we're ready to start building. Let's get all this cleaning stuff off of my desk. Start building from the motherboard up. Pull out my zip ties. Over there. All right. Build phase. I enjoy cable management immensely. So, one of the other things I realize I need to clean is this. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to clean this. Forgot about this. These cables. Let's see how well this actually works. These are the custom extension cables. A little bit off of there. Not Diana of Troy. Yeah, that's where I got it from Amazon. But it was much less than 35 a gallon. It was like, I think I paid like $10 a gallon. That looks a little better. These white cables are brown. Don't smoke around your computer, folks. Just don't do it. This is where we insert that Michael Jordan gif. Stop. Get help.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right. Motherboard. We're going to have to reuse these. Power supply. CPU. Memory. Motherboard. We have I need to go through this full part list. So I guess let me go through this full part list now. This comes with Wi-Fi, so we can get rid of this crappy Wi-Fi card. So, this build, and we're getting to this what, 20 minutes into this, 30 minutes into this. I've been thinking I'm doing this for almost an hour now in actuality. We're building in a Lian 011 Dynamic. It is the pink one, is the original one. We are putting a MSI Gaming X Slim 16 gig 4080 Super. We are using a Corsair RM1000X white. We're using a Corsair iQ H150i Elite Capelix XT white. We are going to be using an Aorus, a Gigabyte Aorus Z790 Aorus Elite AX Ice. Corsair Vengeance RGB DDR5 64 gig. It's 5200 CL30. I do believe these are the CL30s. It's either CL30 or CL40. I don't see it printed here. But it's either 30 or 40. I can't remember. White. We are putting an Intel Core i9 14900 KF in there. I had to remember if this is before or after the CPU name change. Yeah. And we're going to be vertically mounting the GPU with this, which I haven't even opened this yet, so I hope it's right. We're going to find out real quick. But let's go ahead and whip this out. That is this generation. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to update the BIOS on this board. And when I update the BIOS on this board, I am going to set this to what Intel recommends as far as the overclock settings and the power settings. So this thing runs as nominally as possible. Here's our motherboard looking nice and icy. So we did not opt to go with the replacement bracket for this, mainly just because of budget issues. It is an upgrade I'll recommend in the future. I have one. You get the DeBauer replacements for these, or the Thermal Grizzly little brackets for this. What it does is this little locking mechanism is completely replaced by just a solid bracket that more evenly distributes pressure. One of the biggest complaints about this generation and the previous generation is that these are the only two physical pressure points for this CPU. So you end up with a CPU, instead of being flat, has a bow to it because you're putting pressure here and not here and here. So when you put a cooler on that, you can see exactly what ends up happening. There's a little gap. Hopefully the next generation will have a little bit different mounting mechanism. We'll see. All right, CPU installed. We're not going to install the memory yet. We're going to hold off on that. Next, we're going to install our SSD. We're going to install it lower, so that way we're not eating up one of the memory lanes, or one of the PCIe lanes. Let's get that off of there. Let's go with this one. And toolless, all done. And then as a reminder, always peel your little pads. Yes, I helped him choose these parts, Emily. Yeah, I am aware of the loosening issue with that, and my solution was to, after thermal cycling it and putting it under an extreme heat load, go back and manually retighten them. Yep, I am very aware of the issue, and we're gonna follow the same steps that Jay's did, just to downclock this and get the numbers set right according to what Intel wants out of these versus what the manufacturer wants to run out of these. All right, so now we have our nice clean case. Let's go ahead and slap these boys back in there. All right, so that's in there. Now let's... So glad I'm wearing gloves. I'd be bleeding quite badly right now if I wasn't. I just grabbed the edge of this and lifted. That is razor blade sharp. All right, let's get our screws installed. Start with our center as per usual. This would be something I wish I had an ultrasonic cleaner for right now, because these screws have a little bit of dust on them, and I'm not going to go through and do it. Yeah, this should be a nice PC. I very much agree. Slide over for you guys, so you guys can see this. Go through, get all of these in there, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to build our cooler. Alright, get that off of there. So these... we got ourselves the white edition of that. Nice. We have an actual Corsair Commander, which means because we're going to have 6 fans, actually we can still probably fit all of our fans back in there, but we can fit 6 fans on this, which is nice. Then let's pull out these guys, and these, like, I just want to show you guys how much damage actually happens. Like, comparing these, you can see this is how these started. So these are printed and made, these are 3D extruded, I say 3D, they are extruded plastic for these. And you can see this is what they started as. This is what they are now. So this is like the hugest example of do not smoke or vape around your computer that I can ever give someone. This is how these things start. And if you don't smoke or do anything like incense or vape around them, 5 years from now, it'll still look like this. Like, compared to, like, you could see how dim these look comparatively. But what we're going to do is we're actually not going to be putting these into this case. We are going to use all these so that we have a uniform look. And then BP Woods in the chat can do whatever he wants with them in the future. He's got 3 extra fans. You can have them as a backup. But we're going to keep everything looking uniform so that all of the LEDs are the same color. That's my big thing. Let's grab our motherboard once again. All right, so back plates for the cooler, we're going to go ahead and put that on. There is a square with the Corsair. There's a little square of 3M paper on there. And there we go. And just line everything up. Just like so. Come on. There we go. And then we just press. Make sure everything's actually getting through these holes. Press them down. And then we're just going to hold on just a little bit. Take out our screws. For the stand-ups you want to use are the LGA 1700s. There's only a single length of threads on these, so it doesn't matter which way they go. If it threads in, it's the right one. That. It's going to be tight when it comes down to it. There's in there.
That's what she said.
There we go. 2, 3, 4. Once those stop spinning, they're done. All right, stand that up, set it back off to the side. Going to grab our cooler. Now, as far as where we're going to mount said cooler, I think we're going to go, yeah, so I think we're going to end up going here instead of up top. I think that's going to be a better choice here. That way we put our reservoir tank at the top so we can keep bubbles up there. On my personal build, I have the larger version of this case. I did my custom loop with the radiator at the top. Just mentally making sure this is what I want to do before I lock into this. I'm wondering here. Let's find out. I have this suspicion that this will actually fit here. And then we can do something a little bit different. Let's get this off of here. We can do like a full pass through on this. I do believe that'll work. Let's see how well this works. So the reason that I'm thinking about putting it back here rather than up front or up top is because I want to get cool air onto the radiator as soon as possible. And the best way to accomplish that is by putting it near an intake. Only thing we're going to have a problem, yeah, this isn't going to work. It's pushing a little bit too much on... no, never mind. That'll work. Yeah, I think we're going to do this. So these fans are going to be pulling this way. So we're going to pull cool air directly from the back, which has a vent specifically for this, get it into this case. This is a Lian Li 011 dynamic. This is the original. So let's just set that down for a moment. I might end up regretting this, but we'll see. We'll see. That's all we can do. So whenever we look at fans, I always try and remind everyone, if you can see this part, the top of the fan, air is going to flow into that. You flip it over, if you can see this, air is going to come out this side. So unfortunately, these guys that I put on here are going to be put on here like this, unless I'm going to reverse what I just said. No. Nope, we're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it. I changed my mind again. Come mid. I'm being picky because I want this thing to look good. Go like that. So I am, when it comes to computer builds like this, I am 80% aesthetic and 20% function. But when it comes to the function, like when we're referring specifically to the function of cooling one of the hottest processors Intel's ever made, I'm going to lean a lot more towards function over style, honestly. Because I want this thing to run like a beast and to stay cool basically no matter what he ends up doing. Alright, so because we're going to have a bunch of free space up here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to attach this right now. And it's going to be... I personally am okay with thermal paste that's on here. For this CPU specifically, I'm going to add a little bit more. Oh, it's okay. I'm used to dealing with it all the time. I'm just going to gently scent that there. And the reason I'm going to add a little bit more is because I want to create a zone where we have as much thermal contact as possible. Because the last thing you want with these guys is runaway heat because there's not enough thermal compound. All right, and then we're going to put these on here. Hand tight. 1, 2. And I wish you would have told me this case was pink, because I would have then ordered everything pink to match your aesthetic. This is a pink case. Pink. White. Pink. Yeah, I mean, it's really, really hard to tell. But this is white. That is pink. All right. And as a reminder, with your memory, always install your memory into the slots recommended by your motherboard manufacturer. And always do your peels. In this case, it is slot 2 and slot 4 to be populated first. There's that one. About to put that in there backwards. Okay, and then we have another peel right here. And right now, yeah, even looking at this came directly from Lian Li. Like the color difference is quite apparent. So this had to be something that Artesian Builds worked out with them 100%. Because this is not white. I wish there was a better way for me to get it across to you on camera. Alright, so this guy goes like so. We'll just line this up. And we have to get screws in here somehow. And we're going to go right to there. Checking to see if there's anything I need to do on the bottom. I don't think there is. Yeah, it's going to look white. Okay. Let's get our last 3 fans in up top. And then We're going to get this bad boy flipped and then start doing our cable management in the back, because other than that, everything up front is done. The most fans I've ever put in a build, there was a guy, it was that $10,000 computer that Naz and I built for that guy. He did photography for NBC. And he wanted to be able to render 24/7 without killing the inside of the computer temperature-wise. I think we put 20 fans in it. It was a full-size case, so it was 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 fans. Yeah. It was a full-size case, so it was one of the ones that they're usually about 2 feet by 2 feet. Yeah, because where this is sitting now, there was room for. Then all of the storage was in the back of the case. I believe the case was a server case. Yeah, because he was constantly what the guy did for a living. Like I said, he worked for NBC, so he was constantly. This is some of the most delicate peels. He was constantly receiving and rendering footage from like different sources, and it was huge files even back in the day. So on here there are, it doesn't look like it, but there are actual peels on here. You just got to be very careful. See, very careful peels. I do believe it was a server case. The guy's like, I want fans, I don't care what it sounds like, I'll drill a hole in my wall to run the video cables through. I want this thing to stay cool and be able to run 24/7. Funny story. My 1080 Ti that I ran for the longest time, that's actually sitting up there in that computer right now, that you can see the radiator sticking out of. So that radiator right there is a liquid cooled Aorus 1080 Ti that I ran in my computer for 5 years. The guy came in right after the 20 series launched, bought the exact same 20 series card from Aorus, and then was like, you guys can just have this. Here you go. And I was like, awesome. All right, so now this is where some of the interesting things are gonna start transpiring. This is the first time I've actually put a video card vertically in this case. So that's in there. So this is what she's gonna look like. That is a sexy build. This is a 4080 Super. 4080 Super. Yeah, we will never in our lifetime see another GPU that is as good as the 1080 Ti was for the price, ever. That was an anomaly that Intel will never, ever allow to happen again. NVIDIA. Did I say Intel? I meant to say NVIDIA. My brain is super scattered today. Been saying the wrong thing all morning. Before we go any further, we have everything plugged in. Make sure these are refined. There we go. And now we are going to install this and see what happens as far as operating system goes before we're going to do anything else. So let me stand this up because I don't want to put pressure on that at a weird angle. And I have to make sure this cable has enough free play and length to get up here, which it does not. So we're going to end up in the back now. Just need a little bit more cable length. Yeah, he needs a box. He's got so many boxes and boxes and boxes. Send that there. This cable. Just need to manually get that like that. And that's where that should stay. Yeah, he said it still has user data on it. I'll let him make that determination. Not 100% liking this, the way they do this at this point. And to get these screws in here to tighten it up. And these guys. Though I'm pretty sure once I have these in here, this is going to be fine. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's see what she do. HDMI, USB, and power. All right. 3, 2, 1. So don't have a speaker hooked up. There it goes. So we're loading into Windows UEFI. And what we're going to do is we're going to find the settings, the Intel recommended. All right, cool. So we're all up, we're all running. Let me cut these lights off. Hey, thanks for watching that video. If you liked that video, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I stream daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/SpecVengeance. And yeah, if you want to learn more about my services, check out BradentonPCRepair.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.